You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily. Time now to check our health in terms of what we consume. We have here with us a state-registered nutritionist, Akosia Koneduyad. Akosia, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you.
Now, we are looking at how alcoholism endangers nutrition. Now, my first issue is, at what stage, does the consumption of alcohol becomes alcoholism?
Okay, so there are allowable intakes. So for wine, hard liquor, and then shots, well, we can go as far as shots and your local gins. A shot for a woman a day is okay, and for a man, at least up to 2. So if it crosses, then it becomes a problem, because that is where people will advocate that there is resveratrol in something like red wine for the heart. And so why do you tell us that we should avoid alcohol? It is true. Resveratrol sitting in chocolate can be found in red wine. And so, for instance, if you are within the allowable intake zone, then it means that you are getting those benefits. But then if you are crossing over, now there is a distortion as far as inhibition of nutrients are concerned, and that can pose a lot of threat to you. Now, if you're a pregnant woman, if you're a lactating mother, if you are not even lactating like yourself and myself, there are reasons why you need to make sure you are preventing alcoholism from setting in. Because if you're a woman and you can go, let's say, 3 bottles a day of beer, then there is a problem. So for a woman, a bottle, a man, 2 maximum. But I would say that if once in a week you decide to indulge in that thing, then it means that it's better that way, even though you are allowed every day as far as certain intakes are concerned. But then our bodies are running, there are issues, there are conditions that may be hidden here and there, and that can be a reason why you will need to be on guard. Because why is my
I'm smiling because we also have people taking some kind of spirits just to give them appetite.
I was going to ask that.
Exactly. So we're looking at nutrition and alcoholism, but we have the Yebudidi.
That's why I'm saying that in as much as I wouldn't want you to indulge in, because we go into the dangers, you are allowed within a certain limit to go. So if you want to do it, why not? I prefer to choose my resveratrol from chocolate because I know I'll get it from there. But somebody prefers the red wine.
Right.
So if you want to go the lane of the red wine, then work with the shot. When you go, they have that container. They used to take. Go with the shot as a woman, so that at least the benefit you want to get, you are getting it. Because if you go overboard, then it puts pressure on your heart pressure or your pressure, so hypertension sets in. And then we have heart issues also setting in. You can even change how your heart is beating, and that one becomes a medical concern, because what you want to take to protect that heart is now turning to hurt you. So the intakes or allowable intakes should be a major factor, and that is what comes to play when it comes to health and even nutrition. Because this is good doesn't mean you have to abuse it. And so we have daily shots. I even have it here. I've given the shots already. And then know that 1 shot or gram of alcohol contains 7 calories. And in health, it is said that alcohol is empty. But then you get 7 calories. So it is between somewhere fats, and then it's between fats and carbohydrates, because it has no protein in there. So there is nothing as far as nutrients is concerned. If you can't add on, then take from. And that is what alcohol comes in to do. If you go beyond where you are supposed to go, it tampers with the assimilation, or it inhibits the absorption of thiamine, or vitamin B1. Very, very important for maintaining cells. We are made up of cells. Frema, you are cells. I am cells. You are cells. And so if it is tempered with, then it means that your whole outlook or your whole being can be tempered with. And if we are made up of cells, it means that all the organs and everything can be impaired on. Vitamin B12, you need it for blood health. And then you need it to also make sure you are maintaining nerve cells. So it has to do, when cell is in, it's like it is going to distort everything that concerns the beautiful Frema. Welcome back. And then folic acid. Now, we need folic acid for a lot of body functions. Cell is also again here. And then when you are even pregnant, we tell you to enhance on your iron and your folate stores. We are giving folic acid because as Ghanaians, where we find ourselves, how we even handle our vegetables from the farmer to our plate, there are issues with it, and so there are several depletions. And we cook our vegetables for sometimes more than 10 minutes. You have nothing in vegetables if you can cook them for more than 10 minutes. So there is a need for us to supplement, because the natural state being folate is always tempered with, based on where we are getting the vegetables from, based on who is handling those vegetables, as far as before it is even in front of you to eat as a meal. We cook our contomerates, and then you can see the stock being greenish. So it means that all the nutrients are in the stock you are throwing away. And so that is it. And then zinc. We need zinc for immune function. And it's very, very important. It can temper with it. For men, you need it for your reproductive health. So it is very important that we pay attention. If you're a man who really indulge in a lot of alcoholism, sometimes malnutrition can even set in. So those who are like almost something, like those who really are into alcoholism, you see that even their outlook. The accounts will say, well, true. Like, you see that there is something wrong with this person, even from looking at the person physically. And so my uncle will say that, no, Monsa Papa, you should know what you are, what you are going in for.
But coming to that, is there anything like, take good drinks? And alcohol is alcohol.
It's a funny thing. And as a health person, I'm not supposed to sit here and even hype alcohol. But then I know that people will still indulge. So let me just give them the allowable intake.
So it's a matter of the quantity.
It's about the quantity and whatever sits in there. The quality also counts, because sometimes, oh God, I don't want to do this. Because sometimes, like red wine, for instance, like I said, there is something in it for the heart. And it is true. The resveratrol, very, very good for the heart. But then if you don't do it right, you can pick a hard liquor and you can have up to 70-something%, and somebody has 14%, 7%. So obviously knowing what you have should also inform what to take. And for instance, there are lactating mothers who are taking alcohol. Yes, I know that we are not just, it's not just Ghanaians watching us. So something happens. But then you see those in the developed world, they know that some women can be stubborn. Some people, for their stress levels, for them to be able to manage it, and last we spoke about postpartum depression, that is how they can wake themselves up from that. And so there is a way to go about it. If it's red wine that you want to take, I'm not supposed to do this, but like I said, people will do it. Just a shot, and then give yourself 3 hours before you breastfeed.
Otherwise,
there could be leach. So when you have leaching of whatever sits in there, it's like like a flavor. So that's why when you are a lactating mother and you are breastfeeding and your child has constipation, they tell you, the mother, to take fruits. Because there is a way some of the nutrients that will help can find its way into the breast milk. Like me dropping vanilla essence in this water, definitely that flavoring will happen. So you need to really be on guard. If you find yourself here, this information is for somebody elsewhere. But if you find yourself here and I think you can go off it, why not? Find a better way. I know you can find the last week's video. We spoke about various ways to make sure you can take care of your depression and what have you, because some of the breastfeeding mothers, it's because of the postpartum depression, and sometimes the post depression is why they want to take that to just kind of take care of their stress levels and how bad they feel.
Can it take medication for alcoholism?
When it gets there, then it means that something has to, once it becomes a medical condition, then it will need to be handled from there. Because if, let's say, for instance, your malnutrition, we have various forms. Alcoholism can create a lot of things, including even your liver health. So there is a reason why we say that alcohol has a chemical that is responsible for breaking scar tissues. Now, when you take a lot of alcohol, then it's like the scar tissues, they are crippled. So whatever I need to do, I am unable to do. And once that is happening or going on in your liver, it's like the liver is left unprotected. If I leave Firma here at night and it's like there is no security and everything, it's like you are exposed and anything can come to you. And so that's what happens. And with time, you find out that liver cirrhosis are setting in, or other conditions are also setting in, because there's been a compromise as far as how I am supposed to function is concerned. And so once it becomes a medical condition, then we need to attend to you from the medical perspective, in the sense that if malnutrition is setting in, definitely it means that if you are coughing, if it's making you look so pale, and sometimes you can find people looking so lean, then it means that there is a concern, because before you get there, Frema, it means that other conditions may have also found their way there, like your liver issues also. So there are two things.
And all.
So everything can be going on wrong, and it becomes a medical concern or an emergency when we begin to see some of these dire consequences taking its toll on you, because malnutrition in an adult can be something that can be life-threatening, even in kids.
Yeah. Then there's also the danger of developing poor eating habits.
Of course, because now if you resort to it, so I tell people when they come to the hospital and they are like, my child is not eating, I go like, don't go for mojadro or something to boost the appetite. I'm an example of that. My mother was doing everything in her power to make me look chubby, but this is how I was made. I've been like this for 10 years, and so you don't need to have your child looking like Freme's child, because for all you know, Freme's family, they have certain genes making them look that way, and so don't do that to your child, because it got to a point none of them was working even on me. So it gets to a point it's like
kind of resistance
so me, that thing, even apitamen doesn't work on me.
No, then your case is a different
do you get it? So naturally this is how I am. So don't try to buddy or there is a way to correct it. I am a living example. I have corrected it, and now I'm able to eat the right quantity I need to do every day. But it was a struggle for me. My first size, I could do like half of it. So I believe that everything comes with training, and sometimes you need professional guidance, because sometimes you don't even know how to go about it. It's my field. I struggled, but even with me struggling, I knew where I had to pass to make sure I get to where I find myself. And so where there is a need to help, go in, because you can't even influence your child in a bad sense. I have a small boy who was once like, Chamitatra, like, give me something small, because he saw it being done. And so in as much as you would want to buddy or take alcohol to make sure your appetite levels are checked, you are a role model if you're a parent.
So in wrapping up, if someone is struggling with this, alcoholism, and is affecting their nutrition and giving them other issues, what do they do? Do they check themselves into a rehab? Do they go to the hospital to seek medical attention?
I believe that if it has gotten to where, like you said, it becomes a medical issue, then your go-to will be the hospital. And in as much as, like you said, rehab, in Ghana, you can make do with a clinical psychologist, because we don't have a lot of rehabs or around. So once the medical side is taken care of, because once malnutrition is in, then a nutritionist will need to step in to make sure we bring you up to check, or else we can lose you. And so all the medical concerns will be taken care of, and then you'll be handed over to a psychologist or the right people to help you make sure you step out of it with a bit of prayers to make sure you snap out of it. So basically that is it. I will post more on my social media handle. So which is Instagram, you can follow or just be on standby at The Nutritionist Akosia, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Nutritionist Akosia, and WhatsApp 0243 350206.
All right, awesome.
Thank you very much, Akosia.
Always a pleasure.
I'm sure this topic may have generated a lot of interest out there.
For people that
the flyers
see right now here in the studio as well.
All right, you're watching Breakfast Daily.